Day 5, bringing it all together, was a day that we looked at cases, specifically cases for shaping, a case for overall health, even though we didn't go too deep into that, and a case for specific sport. And what you learn by doing this, first of all, you realize that you've learned a lot in 5 days. So that's good. But you also realize that, or I realized that, putting it all together in order, like, it's not about knowing, um, having a prescription, right? Like, choose this program, choose that program, choose this, having a list of exercises to pick from. It's about the way of thinking about movement and health. So in what order do I prioritize the way I'm thinking about it, and how well do I understand biomechanics, adaptation, the differences between hypertrophy and strength training or cardiovascular conditioning, and based on that frame of thinking, going through a number of logical steps in this program. That is, okay, which movement components, the 5 that we have, which energy systems do I want to challenge? Okay, how can I do that with which kind of exercises and which variations of exercise, and then how do I program that? And do I understand what kind of intervals I need in the program, but also if I'm scheduling programming over a week or a year, I create those intervals. So one of the things I didn't realize, like, I always take a deload week every 4 weeks. Don't have to. Apparently you can continue training relatively safely, even though it's nice to give your body time to recover and relax. You don't have to stop 100% of your training. You can do very different things. So those were interesting insights for me. Do I feel ready to program? I think for myself, I feel better equipped. So if we go back to my goals coming here, it's like, okay, I train a lot at home. You've followed me. You've seen me train in the mornings and build programs and try to design things. Everything I designed up until now is garbage. So, well, not garbage, but not as well designed as it could be. So even the Kettlebell for Beginners program that I was very excited about, now I have to go back to the drawing board with the fundamentals in mind. I think there's an exercise that I need to add. I think there's something to be said about the variation that I put into that program, which was relatively non-existent, even though it progressed and increased in volume and intensity over time. So there was a couple of things in that specific area of how do I program my trainings for an active life, right? For the energy and stamina and strength and conditioning to live long, self-sufficient, and be able to go out on adventures and do all the things I want to do well into my 90s and maybe even up to 100. Yeah, I definitely feel more equipped to do that. So that's great. It was a great group. I have to give them credit. They were a lot of fun and a lot of interesting conversations. And you learn so much. I think it's also easy to underestimate. Oh, I can watch a video, I can read a book. But one of the big values of being in this settings, first of all, everyone comes with their own experience, with their own mindset, with their own frameworks, with their own opinions. And then to have the conversation about what we all know, given the challenge or the case that we're trying to resolve, the program that we're trying to make, shows you the weak spots in your reasoning or the rivers of thinking in my reasoning, which I needed to reroute or pick a different starting point for to better understand what I could go after. So there's big advantages doing something like this in that sense. So overall, I'm as excited today as I was at the beginning of the week, maybe even more so. It's nice to find some fitness friends, some like-minded people is always fun. And we had great conversations. So yeah, it was totally a good week. Happy to go into the weekend. Happy to pick up my training next week. I have some ideas for a new training program for 4 weeks. And well, you'll see what that's going to be next week. And yeah, I feel more confident also, but first I want to finish the course and do the certification to also put programs out there that I think people can look at and understand my thinking and then give them a try at different levels of their fitness. Oh yeah, the other thing that I really liked was understanding why testing at the top of a program is so important and interesting, and what that means in terms of where you do and do not train a person or send them to a physiotherapist first to get the help they need, or look at different mobility exercises and then work with them and and a medical professional, because you are not, right? As a personal trainer, I'm not, to then kind of within that guidance do certain exercises to alleviate and maybe take away the problem. Totally worth my time.